6 psychological tricks that can make anyone fall for you. Allow me to share a confidential insight with you. Psychology is absolutely captivating. Nevertheless, it can also prove somewhat intricate. The inner workings of our minds are endlessly fascinating, yet they are also susceptible to subtle psychological maneuvers that can be wielded by anyone who knows them. Provided, of course, that they are aware of these tactics. Sometimes, it's as straightforward as common sense. Suppose you wish to grab someone's attention. What actions can you take to effectively demonstrate your outstanding qualities and quickly win them over? Well, if you turn to the field of psychology, you'll discover an array of both evident and less apparent insights, unveiling some intriguing methods at psychology's disposal. Here, we present 6 psychological techniques that have the potential to make a lasting impression on anyone. 1. Mirror your partner. People tend to feel a connection with individuals who share similarities with them. Therefore, if your mannerisms resemble theirs, they might begin to unconsciously perceive you as kindred spirits. When you replicate the gestures and movements of another person, it often leads them to perceive you as being more akin to themselves, provided it's done in a subtle and not overly conspicuous manner. This phenomenon is known as the chameleon effect and has been a subject of investigation in psychology studies. The chameleon effect primarily revolves around our innate tendency to unconsciously imitate others as a means to foster affinity or connection. It's akin to our instinct to blend in, so to speak. So, by discreetly mirroring your partner, they might subconsciously reciprocate or discover something appealing about you, even if they can't quite put their finger on it. Essentially, it's a reflection of themselves. 2. Actually spend time with your partner. Alright, this one might seem rather evident, but it's supported by psychological research, as one would expect. Especially when it comes to having a crush on someone in a class or at work. I'm referring to what psychologists term the mere exposure effect. It turns out that people tend to favor those they're familiar with, even if there's nothing particularly captivating or intriguing about the interaction. I mean, those knock-knock jokes can only go so far, right? According to a psychological study conducted by R.B. Zajonc, the mere exposure effect is a psychological phenomenon where individuals find themselves developing a preference for someone or something simply because they've become accustomed to their presence. When a person is repeatedly exposed to a specific stimulus, that familiarity breeds a preference for its continued presence. This is precisely why certain products in advertisements are consistently featured during commercial breaks in your favorite shows. The more acquainted you become with something, the more likely you are to take notice of it. So, if you're aiming to make a particular someone fall for you, muster the courage to spend time around them, strike up a conversation, or tell a joke. Just, for the sake of all that's good, let's steer clear of knock-knock jokes. 3. Show you are capable and intelligent, but still human. Everyone admires intelligence and values reliability and competence in others. People appreciate individuals who genuinely care and display intelligence. However, surprisingly, most people aren't particularly drawn to those who appear perfect. I know, it's a bit counterintuitive, right? So, if your grandma has been urging you to be perfect, and reminding you to call me every Sunday, it turns out she might have been mistaken all along. Well, you should still probably give her that Sunday call, it's a nice gesture. It turns out that people can feel intimidated by those who seem too perfect. A researcher from the University of Texas discovered that if you make a few mistakes but still convey your capability and intelligence, it might actually make you more appealing to others. In this study, conducted by researcher Elliot Aronson, participants were asked to rate fictional test takers based on their attractiveness. These test takers either performed excellently, moderately, or poorly on a test. What's interesting is that some of them intentionally acted clumsily and spilled coffee at the end of the interview, right after their test scores were revealed. The surprising result? People rated the test takers who spilled coffee at the end of the interview as the most attractive. This suggests that while people appreciate intelligence and capability, they also want to see a bit of imperfection. As the research paper puts it, a superior person may be viewed as superhuman and, therefore, distant. A blunder tends to humanize him and, consequently, increases his attractiveness. Even the test takers who didn't perform perfectly were rated lower in attractiveness compared to the high-performing test taker who displayed a small imperfection. It seems that others may find you intimidating if you come across as flawless and never make mistakes. They want to see your human side. So, when you showcase your competence while also revealing that you're a human who can make mistakes, people tend to be more drawn to you. Therefore, the next time you make a strong first impression and demonstrate your intelligence and competence, don't fret about being perfect. Those little imperfections, and even a touch of clumsiness, can enhance your appeal alongside your strengths. 4. Show your positive side. People are naturally drawn to individuals who exude happiness. When most of their interactions with you are positive, they begin to associate positive emotions with your presence. This is crucial because, well, let's face it, if someone is going to develop feelings for you, they'll want to feel joyous in your company. However, it's essential to strike a balance. If someone maintains a consistently cheerful disposition, it tends to uplift those around them. On the flip side, it's vital not to overindulge in complaining, perpetually dwell on the negative, or become that person in the group who transforms a lively atmosphere into a gloomy one. It can be quite disheartening. I'm already feeling a bit down just thinking about it. All these don'ts are quite negative words, aren't they? I should focus on the positive side. After all, your mood has the power to influence the moods of those around you. A research paper jointly conducted by the University of Hawaii and Ohio State University suggests that many people can intuitively pick up on your emotional state merely by being in your presence. Doesn't that seem reasonable? So, if you find yourself in a good mood, radiate that positive energy. Embrace your inner positivity. Those you're around are likely to sense your mood and, in turn, feel happier in your company. And if all else fails, at least you can take comfort in being a beacon of positivity and happiness. 5. Wear red, ladies. This one is primarily directed at the ladies, but gentlemen, don't worry, these psychological insights might shed some light on why you're so drawn to that lady in red as well. In an experiment conducted by researchers Daniela Iniesta Kaiser, Andrew J. Elliott, and Roger Feltman, as detailed in the European Journal of Social Psychology, it was discovered that men tend to find women more attractive when they are wearing the color red. During the experiment, men were given the task of asking questions to women dressed in either red or green. Interestingly, the men chose to ask the women in red more affectionate or romantic questions. In a subsequent part of the study, men also demonstrated a preference for sitting closer to women in red as opposed to those in blue. As the research paper succinctly puts it, research shows, for the first time, that color influences men's behavior toward women in the romantic realm. Color, specifically red, appears to serve as a basic, non-lexical prime that can influence important, i.e., reproduction-relevant, behavior in similar fashion across species. So, ladies, the next time you're heading out on a date with your significant other, why not consider donning that red dress? 6. Make a good first impression. It's widely recognized that initial impressions have a lasting impact. According to a study published in the journal Social Psychological and Personality Science, the first impressions formed from a photograph of someone can continue to influence another person's judgment, even after they have met in person. In this study, individuals evaluated others based on their photographs and subsequently had face-to-face meetings. Remarkably, the initial impressions formed through the photographs continued to shape their perceptions of the individuals, even after formal introductions. When you summon the courage to ask your crush out, remember the importance of making a lasting impression, a favorable one, of course. A strong first impression serves as a solid foundation, and with time, it may lead to them developing feelings for you without you even realizing it. So, arrive on time for your initial meetings, radiate positivity, and when in doubt, consider donning that red attire. Yes, gentlemen, this applies to you as well. Women appreciate a man in red too. If you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on the notification bell, so you don't miss any new facts. Let us know your thoughts about this video in the comments section down below, and feel free to stay and enjoy it until the end. Also make sure to check out our next highlighted video, and we will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.